First, I'd like to say welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you giving up one of your summer vacation days to come in and learn a bit about writing and writing in your content areas. So I want to start you off with a little activity just to get you warmed up to the idea. So if you could open up your handout to the second page, we have something called a RAFT activity. And RAFT is an acronym, and the R stands for role, the A stands for audience, the F is format, and the T is topic. So I'm not going to stretch you guys too much right now. I appreciate you coming in. So for the role, you're going to be a teacher. Not a bit of a stretch there, right? The audience is going to be a student or your group of students. The format is going to be a postcard. And the topic, I would like you to write about what teachers really do on their summer vacations. So again, the role for you is the teacher right now. The audience is your students. We're flipping the script on them. The format is a postcard, and the topic is what teachers really do on their summer vacations. I'm going to set the timer. I'm going to give you guys about 3 minutes. Timers are great things to use when you're asking your students to write. So I'd just like you to write a little postcard to your students about what you do on your summer vacation. Here we go, setting for 3 minutes. Sorry guys, the pens are new, so you have to tip them. Okay, you have 1 minute left.
Can I peek on someone else's page?
Sure, absolutely. Writing's a social activity. Okay, time's up.
It's funny because I actually did this.
Oh, did you? Awesome.
Actually did it this week.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's great.
Kind of like a copy of that.
Well, I wanted to ask you guys, what is the first thing that you noticed that I was doing? What did you notice that I was doing while you were writing this?
Well, after a couple of seconds, you sat down and participated.
Okay, so I just, very good. You noticed that I was writing along with you. It's really important. It builds a lot of credibility with your students if you do the activity with them. If you come in with something pre-written that you did ahead of time, it makes you look perfect, and it almost makes them feel like they have a lot to aspire to, which is fine to set standards, but it's good to walk them through the writing process. And so I'm going to show them that you make mistakes and you cross things out, and If you're doing it on the board, your thinking is out loud, and that's okay. So does anybody want to share what they wrote? I don't want to put anybody on the spot too much.
I'll share.
You're more than welcome to share. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hi, Shannon.
Oh, jeez.
Welcome from Cooperstown, Baseball Hall of Fame. I'm spending some of my summer vacation playing in a 65 and over baseball tournament in lovely Cooperstown, New York. This old town is loaded with historical memories. You should try to visit. Regards, Mr. K.
Oh, that's beautiful. Wow, very nice. Very sincere, too. Anybody else you don't have to?
Also true.
Yes.
I'll share mine if you want me to. Cooperstown's wild. Did you do that?
Yes.
That's awesome.
In fact, I have another one coming up in September.
It's good. They get to see we're real people. We're not just sitting in a
Yeah.
class and learning about how to teach, right?
Or hibernating in a cave.
Right.
Recuperating over the summer.
I just want to post
Licking our wounds.
So what? I wrote, Dear students, I hope you've enjoyed your summer. I have been quite busy this summer. Working for the Phillies has kept me on my toes. I've met a lot of people ranging from a teacher in Collingswood to a family from the Netherlands. I hope you have had time to meet up with your friends this summer too. Another highlight was traveling to Purdue University with a group of high school kids. I met people from as far away as South Africa. I hope to hear all about your vacation when we meet up again in September.
That's fantastic. Very nice. Very good. And you have a nice natural voice, too. So. You don't have
Mine's the most
to,
boring of everybody, but yeah. Hey everyone. It's been a hectic. I wrote one postcard generically for the entire.
Well, it is a postcard, so it is a simple.
It's been a hectic 2 months since we left school. I've been having a great time sleeping and watching TV. Sadly, my TV watching was interrupted last week with a trip to California. Luckily, due to the difference in time zones, I can now get away with sleeping until noon every day. Hope you are having fun also.
That's wonderful. That's really, really good. Do you guys see how this could be possibly used in your classroom for a variety of content areas and different audiences, and just getting students to think of outside of themselves, maybe? You know, you were comfortable writing as yourself, but maybe it could be the student writing to the teacher, or vice versa. In math, maybe if you're teaching order of operations, for example, you could be the parentheses, and that would be your role, and the audience is the other orders of operations. Maybe the format is a letter to the editor of a newspaper, and your topic is you're complaining about how difficult it is to keep everybody in line. So something like, oh, I'm the parentheses, and I'm sick and tired of having all these other operations running around. The exponents are always up in the air, and they think they're on cloud 9, and multiplication and division are always arguing because they don't get along. They're complete opposites. So something like that, just a fun way to reinforce the concepts that you're teaching in class. Well, thanks, guys. It's just a little warm-up, and this is an idea of the kind of activities I'm going to be talking to you about today. Raise your hand if you ever heard this expression that every teacher needs to be a teacher of reading. Did you ever hear that expression? Okay. And I think it pushes people away from using reading and writing. I should incorporate writing also, every teacher, a teacher of writing. I think it turns people off, especially if you don't teach language arts, because you think, oh, that's the job of the language arts teacher. Well, I'm not talking about teaching students how to write, but I'm talking about using writing in your classes to extend their thinking. It's completely different. Writing to learn and learning to write are really two different things. So today what I want to talk to you about is using writing to learn in your content areas. Now, this is based on a needs assessment. So when I looked at data from our school, at the time I was looking at the data for this presentation, the 2013 test results weren't available. So I looked at the 2012 test results. Last year's 7th graders, 42% scored just proficient on the explanatory task of the New Jersey Ask. And in last year's 8th graders, it was 62%, and then last year's 9th graders, it was 65% for the explanatory task. So as you can see, those scores need a little work. They do tend to go up over the junior high years, but it's definitely something that we need to work on, especially with the new standards. The Common Core state standards are emphasizing nonfiction reading and informational writing, I think. It's 50% at the elementary grades. 50% nonfiction reading and 50% fiction. And then in the secondary levels, it goes up, 70% nonfiction and 30% fiction. So there's really a lot more emphasis on the informational reading and the writing that goes along with that. And there's a lot of information in the content area. So that's where our focus is today. Okay, so today I'm going to show you some ideas that maybe you can incorporate into your lessons to help you with that. I worked up a Prezi. So you might be thinking, why use writing? I'm not a language arts teacher, and that's a common thought. Maybe you've sat in workshops before and you're wondering, why am I here? This doesn't really apply to me. Well, the new standards are requiring that students do need to be able to read like detectives and write like reporters. So that is the mindset I want you to have, and that goes across all the content areas. This quote is the research basis for this. Skilled content area teachers are those adept in understanding their students' individual motivations and needs while creating conditions through discussion and strategy for literacy success in multiple contexts. See, they have to be doing it all day long, not just within the language arts classroom. So I would like you to think about writing as being practical. Writing is a practical thing. It's something we do. Can you think of 4 instances across the day on your job that you use writing? And I don't mean just because, Tracy, for example, you teach writing, and Joe, you use writing in history, and Mike, maybe not as much writing in math. But for your job as a teacher, how do you use writing to help you? And I don't just mean in terms of teaching it. Can anyone think of an example of something that you would write across the day that would help you do your job better?
Responding to some administrative notes.
Okay, very good.
You write a lot of those letters.
Yeah.
You're good at those.
Administrative letters? Yeah. It's good to be able to express yourself, and especially if you have thoughts or constructive criticism or complaints about something. So yeah, sending an email to a parent, keeping a phone conference log. If you have a phone conversation and you want to remember what was said, writing a discipline report, you have to choose your words really carefully. Especially if there's more than one student involved, because it can become he said, she said, and then you want to have everything in writing. And then comments on a student's paper, giving them feedback. Of course, you want to have constructive comments, but also constructive criticism as well for what they can do better. So writing is practical, and we need our students to see that they're going to use it in their lives. Now, it's one thing for them to hear that, but if you have solid proof, that makes you more credible. So I would like you to turn to the 3rd page of your handout. The 2nd page is actually an extra copy of the raft if you wanted to use it at any point during the year. Just take a gander at this, read over. There are some multiple choice questions and then a writing assessment. So if you could just glimpse over and tell me, where do you think this was pulled from? Where did I get these questions from? Test prep books? Does sound a bit like that, doesn't it? That is a good guess, Tracy, because it is a lot like different types of things that students have to do
Yeah,
with grammar.
especially the writing on that one seems to be kind of similar to what we've gotten in our JS test prep books.
Exactly. Writing on demand.
Yeah,
You know.
and then explaining what they're looking for, and
Right.
so they have a goal.
Right. What are your thoughts on it? I'm curious.
Same thing. Maybe even write off a sample test itself or something.
Sorry, Joe, I didn't bring the answer key. So.
Single topic, 1 through 5, that seems interesting.
Oh, you're onto something there.
The officer, the bullet, I'm like jail.
Yes. Good use of context clues. Actually, this is taken from a written exam that candidates for the California Highway Patrol had to take. So yes, Ponch from CHIPS would have had to take a written exam. He couldn't just skate by on his beautiful hair and toothy grin. But did you out in California?
Same uniforms and everything.
See, they're very intimidating.
I'm surprised that they would have such a focus on writing
Exactly.
out in California. I mean,
It's surprising,
I would think
isn't
that it
it?
would be like a basic report,
Right.
but
Well, I
someone
won-
goofing it up.
Well, no. If you look at number 2, for example. Bullet fragments were gathered by officers in envelopes. Bullet fragments were gathered in envelopes by officers. Well, the first one kind of creates a funny visual with the officers in the envelopes when they were gathering bullet fragments. You know, that's the problem.
Yeah.
The dangling participles. So, yeah, but definitely you have to be able to communicate yourself clearly. And look, this is writing on demand. Tracy, you're absolutely right. This could be right from the New Jersey Ask. Look at what they're scoring these candidates on, too. Responds effectively to the task, writes thoughtfully and in depth, coherent and logically organized, fluent style. So all those different skills that we're working with the students, these are real life skills, and you might want to share this information with them. Oh yeah, we have to write in real life. Come on, to be a police officer? Well, yeah, they give them a test. There were over 100 candidates for each position in 2011. So that's a pretty competitive job market. So